The luxury cruise holiday has always been advertised as paradise on the ocean, with casinos, fine dining, theatres, and high-end shopping being just some of the things to enjoy in these floating five-star hotels. What is not advertised is how often people go missing in the middle of these opulent voyages. Since the year 2000, there has been over 300 documented cases of passenger disappearance. More shockingly still, only 10% of these have ever been resolved. This is the darker side of the cruise liner industry. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 people who mysteriously disappeared while on cruise ships. The disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley. When the Bradley family from America boarded the Rhapsody of the Sea for a week-long cruise, little did they know this would be their last holiday together as a whole family. Ron and Ivor Bradley, their son Brad, 21, and daughter Amy, 23, embarked on the cruise ship in Aruba on the 21st of March 1998. 3 days later, Amy would disappear from their lives forever. After a night of partying on March the 23rd, Amy Bradley finished the evening drinking with the ship's band, Blue Orchid, in the dance club. One of the band members, Alistair Douglas, aka Yellow, would subsequently say that Amy left to return to her room at about 1 a.m. Around 5:30 a.m., Bradley's father, his room adjacent to Amy's, wakes briefly before falling back to sleep, but remembers seeing Amy on her cabin balcony sleeping at that time. When Ron got up at 6 a.m., he noticed Amy was no longer there. When he went to check up on her, he discovered that she wasn't in her room at all. During that time, the ship would soon be docking at Curaçao, and the Bradley family notified the ship's security that their daughter was missing. A quick search of the ship found nothing, and fearful that Amy had been kidnapped, the Bradleys pleaded with the crew not to let any passengers off at Curaçao. Not wanting to disappoint its passengers, the ship refused, and at Curaçao, thousands streamed off the cruise liner, and perhaps so too did any chance of finding Amy. Further searches of the ship and the sea produced no signs of her whereabouts, and on March the 29th, the official search was ended. Investigators saw no evidence she had fallen overboard, or anything that could point to suicide, and yet there were no clear answers of where the 23-year-old could be. Various sightings occurred in the years following her disappearance. In 1999, a naval officer stated that at a brothel in Curaçao, a woman, upon hearing another American, came up to him saying, "My name is Amy Bradley, and I need help," before 2 burly men noticed this and escorted her out of the room, and he could make anything more of it. Another sighting occurred in 2005, when a witness named Julie Mora apparently saw Amy in a department store restroom. She claimed the woman entered the bathroom with 3 large men, who proceeded to threaten her if she did not follow through on a deal. Mora alleged that after the men had left, she approached the distraught woman, who then said that her name was Amy and that she was from Virginia, before the men re-entered to take her away. By the time Mora was able to call the authorities, the group was gone. Towards the end of 2005, Amy's parents also revealed they had received photos of a scantily clad woman with a strong resemblance to their missing daughter. Whilst showing perhaps that Amy was still alive, possibly having been abducted and sold into sexual slavery, it still remains that her location is unknown. The Bradleys have never given up their search, however, and still today offer a $250,000 reward for information leading to Amy's whereabouts. The disappearance of Rebecca Corium. When Rebecca Corium got the job of looking after children on board the Disney cruise ship Wonder, she thought she had got her dream role. However, dreams soon turned into nightmares when her parents Mike and Anne received a call from Disney saying their daughter had gone missing. Rebecca was a 24-year-old graduate from England who had just completed a sports science degree and loved to work with kids. She had been working on the Disney ship in youth activities for 9 months, enjoying every day as much as the last, when on March 21st, 2011, Rebecca failed to turn up to her morning shift. Out of character for her, Rebecca didn't respond to calls over the ship's tannoy either, and although a search was instigated soon after, she could not be located anywhere on board the ship, which at the time was sailing down the Pacific coast of Mexico. The Coast Guard was alerted so that a sea search could be carried out, but this still found nothing. Disney officials notified Mike and Anne Corium of their daughter's disappearance, who flew out to join the search. Mike and Anne were finally told by Disney representatives that it was believed Rebecca had been swept overboard from the crew pool by a rogue wave. However, against the high steel walls around that area and the possibility of a rogue wave inconsistent with the weather conditions at that time of year, Rebecca's parents were skeptical of this theory. Furthermore, their daughter was a strong swimmer and competing triathlete. At the time of her disappearance, the ship was docked close to the shoreline, so it was inconceivable that Rebecca would not have been able to make it to land. This would not be the only inconsistency created about Rebecca's disappearance. Disney provided her parents with one side of a slipper found near the crew pool, saying it was hers and backing up the theory that she had been swept overboard. However, both friends and family stated that the slipper was not of the style or even size that Rebecca would wear and questioned exactly whose slipper this actually was. In addition, if she had fallen overboard, it would definitely have been captured on at least one of the many CCTV cameras dotted around that area. Furthermore, with the crew pool in close proximity to the ship's bridge, a fall from that place would have surely been seen by someone. Later, more information would emerge about Rebecca's last known hours. She was last seen on CCTV at 5:45 a.m. in the crew lounge, on the phone looking visibly distressed. As she is talking, another crew member walks by, briefly asking if she is okay, to which Rebecca responds, "Yeah, fine," visible by lip reading. After Rebecca hangs up, she wanders out of frame and is never seen again. With Disney's clean-cut image at risk, it is obvious that it would be in their best interest to conclude the case as quickly as possible. However, wayward theories, inconsistent facts, and an employee clearly in distress the day they go missing only make this unresolved case of disappearance more suspicious. The disappearance of George Smith. George Allen Smith was on board the Royal Caribbean international cruise ship Brilliance of the Seas with his wife Jennifer, both celebrating their honeymoon, having married in Connecticut just 10 days previously. They were a young couple in their 20s and adamant their marriage would get off to a luxurious start, and one where they could continue to party and celebrate their marriage vows. The newlyweds boarded at Barcelona on Wednesday the 29th of June 2005, and the cruise was due to stop in Greece, France, Turkey and Italy, amongst other stunning locations along the way. By all accounts, George and Jennifer appeared to be having a wonderful time in those first few days of their honeymoon. After dinner on the evening of July the 4th, the couple continued their night with drinks at the ship's disco. George noticed his wife flirting with a man on the dance floor and attempted to intervene. The couple were last seen together when a fiery argument broke out between them, culminating in Jennifer kicking her new husband in the groin and storming out of the disco. The next day, a 16-year-old girl stepped onto her balcony looking to take photos of the spectacular sunrise. Instead, she was greeted with something far more sinister on the overhang of the lifeboats, a huge blood stain on the lifeboat canopy. Security quickly determined that the only people unaccounted for were the Smiths, and moved to find out where they were. Jennifer was found having a massage. She had no memory of what had happened after the casino and awoke in their cabin with no sign of George. She assumed he had gone to sleep in another room, something he had done before. Further searches of the ship revealed no clues as to George's whereabouts. However, bloodstains were found in his cabin as well as on the side of the ship. Foul play was suspected, and the FBI were brought on board to start their own investigations. The matter was referred to the Mafia Division of the FBI with an initial theory that this was a robbery gone bad, with the unfortunate newlywed subsequently thrown from his room over the side of the ship and into the watery depths below. Indeed, Smith's family, citing accounts of other men with him in his cabin and the sounds of arguing before a thud was heard between 4 and 5 a.m. When detectives believed Jennifer had returned to their room, said they believe he was murdered. The FBI investigated for 10 years before telling the family they couldn't prove his death was a homicide and not an accident, a decision that outraged and disgusted Smith's relatives. His body was never found. But what do you make of these mysterious disappearances? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.